The Galactic Council chamber floated in the void between stars, a massive sphere of crystallized energy where the most powerful species in the known universe gathered. Ambassador Crixtal of the Zorati Empire stood at the center podium, his four arms gesturing wildly as he spoke. "Look at them," Crixtal said, projecting a hologram of Earth into the chamber. "These humans still burn fossil fuels. They fight among themselves over patches of dirt. They haven't even colonized their own moon properly." Laughter rippled through the assembled aliens. The Yorvak delegate, a creature of pure energy contained within a mechanical shell, pulsed with amusement. "My species achieved faster-than-light travel 3,000 years ago. These humans still use chemical rockets." "Chemical rockets?" Commander Zephyra of the Altarian fleet leaned forward, her scales shimmering under the chamber's ethereal light. "I've studied their military capabilities. They still use projectile weapons. Bullets. Can you imagine? We've been using plasma weapons for millennia. Their strongest armor can barely withstand their own primitive explosives," added the Nexury representative, its tentacles writhing with contempt. "Our basic infantry shields could deflect their entire nuclear arsenal." Crixtal brought up more images. Human cities cramped and chaotic. Human vehicles, bound to the ground or struggling through their thick atmosphere. Human soldiers, wrapped in fabric and ceramic plates. "They call themselves Homo sapiens, the wise ones," Crixtal scoffed. "The irony is delicious. They can barely leave their planet's gravity well, yet they dream of the stars. They write stories about defeating species like us. They actually believe they could stand against the might of the Galactic Council." The Void Walker ambassador, a being of shadow and whispers, spoke with a voice like distant thunder. "Perhaps we should put them out of their misery. It would be a mercy. They'll destroy themselves within a century anyway." "No," Crixtal raised a hand. "Let them struggle. Let them dream their impossible dreams. It amuses me to watch them fumble with their primitive technology while we reshape galaxies." The Council voted unanimously to continue observing Earth, classifying humans as a level 0.7 civilization, barely above animals, unworthy of contact or concern. They filed the report and moved on to more important matters like the trade disputes in the Andromeda sector. But in a small corner of the chamber, hidden among the shadows, a figure watched silently. The Watcher, ancient beyond measure, had seen countless civilizations rise and fall. It had observed humanity since they first looked up at the stars with wonder. And, unlike the others, it had noticed something the arrogant council members had missed. The humans' technology was primitive, yes, but their adaptability was extraordinary. Their creativity in the face of limitations was unmatched. Where other species had developed along predictable paths, humans had taken 1,000 different approaches to every problem. They failed often, but each failure taught them something new. The Watcher had seen the classified reports the Council ignored. Humans reverse engineering crashed alien probes. Humans developing theoretical frameworks for technologies they couldn't yet build. Humans pushing their primitive tools to limits their creators never imagined. As the Council members departed, returning to their vast empires and advanced worlds, they didn't notice the small human probe that had been listening from the edge of the system. They didn't detect the quantum entanglement communicator, a technology humans supposedly wouldn't discover for another 1,000 years, transmitting every word back to Earth. And they certainly didn't expect what would happen when humanity learned exactly what the galaxy thought of them. Deep beneath the mountains of Colorado, the most brilliant minds on Earth gathered in a facility that didn't officially exist. Dr. Sarah Chan stared at the holographic recording that had just finished playing, her face a mixture of anger and determination. "So that's what they think of us," she said quietly. "Primitive, amusing, barely above animals." General Marcus Thompson slammed his fist on the table. "Those arrogant bastards. They're laughing at us while we're down here trying to protect our world with whatever we can build." "Anger won't help us, General," said Dr. Yuki Tanaka, adjusting his glasses. But it can motivate us. We've suspected for years that advanced civilizations were out there, watching us. Now we know exactly how far behind we are. President Elena Rodriguez, participating via secure connection, spoke calmly. What are our options? Can we reach their level of technology in time? Dr. Chun pulled up a display. Not through conventional development. It would take us thousands of years to match their energy weapons, their shields, their faster-than-light travel. But we don't need to match them. We need to outsmart them. Explain, the president ordered. Every species in that council developed along predictable paths, Dr. Chun continued. They found one type of technology that worked and refined it over millennia. The Zorati use bioorganic systems. The Altarians rely on crystalline matrices. The Yorvak are energy beings. Each has strengths, but also blind spots. Dr. Tanaka nodded enthusiastically. We've been studying the debris from the Roswell incident, the Brazil crash, the underwater object near Bermuda. Each piece comes from different civilizations, different technological philosophies. What if instead of choosing one path, we combine them all? A hybrid approach, General Thompson mused. Use their own technologies against them, but in ways they'd never expect. Exactly, Dr. Chin said. They mock us for using bullets? Fine. Let's show them what happens when you accelerate a simple piece of metal to 90% the speed of light using their own gravity manipulation technology. The team worked with inhuman determination. Sleep became optional. Failure became unacceptable. The knowledge that the galaxy saw them as a joke burned in every scientist's mind, driving them beyond normal human limits. 6 months later, the first breakthrough came. Dr. Amara Okafor, a young physicist from Nigeria, discovered how to create micro-wormholes by combining Yorvak energy patterns with Altarian crystal resonance. The wormholes were tiny, barely large enough for a molecule to pass through. But it was enough. We can't send ships through these, Dr. Okafor explained, but we can send information. Or better yet, we can send nanobots. The second breakthrough came from an unlikely source. 12-year-old Jamie Martinez, daughter of one of the facility's engineers, was playing with her father's holographic modeling system when she accidentally created a feedback loop between Zorati biocircuits and human neural patterns. "Dad, look," she exclaimed. "The alien stuff responds to our thoughts way faster than their computer systems. It's like it was waiting for our kind of brain." Investigation revealed she was right. Zorati technology was designed for minds that thought in rigid patterns. Human consciousness, chaotic and creative, could push the biocircuits to performance levels the Zorati never imagined possible. The third breakthrough nearly killed everyone in Lab 7. They were testing a miniaturized version of the alien shield technology when Dr. Rashid accidentally reversed the polarity while sneezing. Instead of deflecting energy, the shield absorbed it, compressed it, then released it in a directed burst. "Do you realize what we just invented?" Dr. Rashid gasped, staring at the melted wall. "We turned their defensive technology into the most powerful weapon we've ever seen. And it was an accident." By year's end, Earth's secret facilities hummed with hybrid technologies that shouldn't exist. Weapons that defied galactic conventions. Shields that worked on principles no alien had considered. Propulsion systems that cheated physics by combining incompatible theories. But the crown jewel was something uniquely human, the Helmet Buster. A microscopic weapon that could phase through any shield, any armor, guided by quantum entanglement to target specific materials. Like the advanced polymers every spacefaring species used in their helmets. The aliens thought humans were too primitive to be a threat. They were about to learn why Earth's children had survived everything their cruel world had thrown at them. Captain Lisa Park stood on the bridge of humanity's first true warship, the UES Defiance. From the outside, it looked like scrap metal held together by hope and duct tape. That was intentional. The real power lay beneath the deliberately crude exterior. "All systems reading green, Captain," reported Commander James Wright. "The Yorvak patrol ship is approaching our position." They've been broadcasting insults for the past hour. Park smiled grimly. Let them come. Are the helmet busters ready? Loaded and locked. The quantum targeting system has identified every polymer molecule in their helmet construction. When we fire, the nanobots will phase through their shields, and Captain, Lieutenant Sophia Petrov interrupted. The Yorvac ship is hailing us. They are laughing. On screen, the viewer filled with the image of Commander Vexlor, his energy form crackling with amusement inside his mechanical shell. Umans, how adorable. You've built what you think is a warship. Did you weld those plates together with your primitive torches? My children could build better vessels with their training kits. Park kept her face neutral. Commander Vexlor, you're trespassing in human space. I'm giving you one chance to withdraw. The alien's laughter intensified. Threats? From you? Your entire planet's military couldn't scratch my ship's paint. But please amuse me. Show me what humanity's finest can do. I promise to make your deaths quick. You were warned, Park said softly. Fire. What happened next would be remembered as the moment the galaxy learned to fear humanity. The helmet buster was invisible, undetectable. It passed through the Yorvac shields like they didn't exist. The nanobots found their target and began their work, converting the helmet's polymer structure into a highly explosive compound. Vexlor was mid-laugh when his helmet detonated. The explosion wasn't huge, just enough to remove everything above his shoulders. His mechanical body stood for a moment, sparking and twitching before crumpling to the deck. The Yorvac bridge crew screamed in panic, but their screams were cut short as their own helmets exploded in sequence. Within seconds, the entire command crew was eliminated. Sir, Petrov reported, her voice shaking slightly. The Yorvac ship is running. They're charging their jump drive. Let them go, Park ordered. We want survivors to spread the word. The crippled Yorvac ship limped back to their nearest base, carrying horrifying footage of the attack. Within hours, the video had spread across the galactic network. The mighty Yorvac, beings of pure energy, killed by primitive humans using technology that shouldn't exist. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. For the first time in millennia, fear filled the chamber. Impossible, Crixtal shouted, reviewing the footage for the 100th time. Our shields are impenetrable. Our armor is indestructible. How did they? You underestimated them. The Watcher finally spoke, stepping from the shadows. You saw their primitive tools and missed their innovative minds. While you laughed at their chemical rockets, they were learning to bend your own technologies to their will. One victory means nothing, Commander Zephyr hissed. We'll crush them with our full fleet. Show them the price of defying their betters. Will you? The Watcher asked. They kill the Yorvac commander with a weapon you can't detect or stop. What else have they built in their underground laboratories? What other impossible combinations have they discovered? The council members looked at each other uneasily. For the first time, they considered a terrifying possibility. What if the humans weren't the primitive species they'd assumed? Send a fleet, Crixtal ordered. 50 ships. Burn their world to glass before they can spread this weapon to others. But Earth was ready. In hidden bases around the solar system, humanity's hybrid fleet powered up. Ships that looked like junk but moved like lightning. Weapons that turned enemy advantages into weaknesses. Shields that fed on incoming fire and grew stronger. The first Altarian scout ship to enter the solar system lasted 12 seconds. The pilot's final transmission was a scream of disbelief as human railguns, enhanced with stolen gravity tech, punched through his crystalline armor like paper. The second wave met humanity's reverse-engineered plasma weapons, crude by galactic standards, but modified to resonate at the exact frequency that disrupted Zorati biocircuits. By the time the main fleet arrived, Earth's children were ready to show the galaxy why mocking humanity was the last mistake any civilization should make. Admiral Crixtal stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Pride of Zorith, watching 50 of the most advanced warships in the galaxy drop out of hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system. Each vessel represented centuries of refined technology, crewed by species that had conquered the stars when humanity's ancestors were learning to make fire. "Scan the system," he ordered. "Find their pathetic fleet." "Sir," his sensor operator's voice trembled. "I'm reading. I'm not sure what I'm reading. The signals make no sense. It's like someone combined 15 different types of technology into single ships. Impossible. No species has ever successfully merged incompatible tech bases. The power requirements alone would—" "Contact," the operator screamed. "Incoming projectiles at—" "That can't be right. Nothing moves that fast in normal space." The human railguns had been laughably primitive. Simple magnetic acceleration, throwing chunks of metal. But humanity had added a twist. Micro-wormhole generators at the barrel's end that let the projectiles skip through folded space, arriving at their targets faster than light-speed sensors could track. The first 3 Galactic Council ships exploded before anyone realized they were under attack. Their shields, designed to stop energy weapons and deflect conventional projectiles, couldn't adapt to weapons that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. "Return fire. Krigsdahlroth. All ships. Maximum bombardment." Thousands of plasma bolts, antimatter missiles, and quantum torpedoes streaked toward the human positions. Earth's defenders should have been vaporized instantly. Instead, something impossible happened. The human ships absorbed the attacks. "Sir, their shields are feeding on our weapons," the science officer reported in disbelief. "Every shot makes them stronger. They've somehow reversed the polarity of shield dynamics. It's crude, it's insane, and it's working." Captain Park's voice crackled across the communication channels. "Attention Galactic Council Fleet. You came here to burn our world because we dared to defend ourselves. Because we refused to accept your judgment of our worth. Now you'll learn what humans do to bullies." The human fleet emerged from hiding, dozens of ships that hurt to look at. Zorati biometal welded to Altarian crystal matrices. Yorvac energy cores powering human-designed weapons. Nexari tentacle tech merged with Earth-built computers. Each ship was an abomination by galactic standards, a chaos of incompatible systems that shouldn't function. But they did function, and they were devastating. The battle became a massacre. Human fighters phased in and out of reality using stolen Void Walker technology, appearing inside enemy shields to deliver point-blank strikes. Earth's cruisers fired weapons that turned enemy armor into explosive compounds. Humanity's battleships projected gravity fields that crushed attacking vessels into singularities. "They're not fighting like any species we know." Zephyr's panicked voice came over the command channel. Her ship was spinning out of control, its navigation system corrupted by human computer viruses that adapted faster than her AI could counter them. "They're using our own technologies against us in ways we never imagined." Krixtau watched his fleet being torn apart by an enemy that should have been thousands of years behind them. The humans weren't just using alien technology, they were improving it, combining it, pushing it beyond its designed limits through sheer human stubbornness and creativity. "Sir," his weapons officer spoke quietly, "we're receiving a transmission from Earth. It's being broadcast on every frequency in the galaxy." The main screen flickered to life, showing President Rodriguez standing in the United Nations Assembly Hall, representatives from every Earth nation behind her. "To the Galactic Council and all spacefaring civilizations," she began, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's fury. "You mocked us from afar, called us primitive, classified us as barely above animals. You laughed at our struggles and our dreams." Behind her, screens showed the battle raging in space. Council ships exploding one after another, their advanced technology useless against human innovation. "But you forgot something important. Humans have been fighting for survival since we climbed down from the trees. Every challenge made us stronger. Every limitation forced us to think harder. You developed in comfort, refining single technologies over millennia. We developed in chaos, adapting everything we could find or steal or imagine." The pride of Zorith shuddered as multiple railgun rounds punched through its hull. Krixtal's bridge crew worked frantically, but their training hadn't prepared them for enemies who fought without honor, without tradition, without the civilized rules of engagement that govern galactic warfare. Now you know the truth, Rodriguez continued. Humanity doesn't need your approval. We don't need your respect. And we certainly don't need your mercy. What we need is for you to leave us alone. This is your only warning. The next fleet that threatens Earth won't get the chance to retreat. As she spoke, humanity's secret weapon activated. Every remaining Council ship suddenly reported the same terrifying message. Helmet integrity compromised. The nanobots have been dispersed throughout the battle, invisible and patient, waiting for this moment. They'd infiltrated every vessel, found every helmet, every breathing apparatus, every life support component made from the advanced polymers the galaxy's species had used for millennia. No. Crixtal grabbed his helmet as it began to heat up. Around him, his bridge crew scrambled frantically, trying to remove their protective gear. But the nanobots were thorough. Even their backup systems, their emergency suits, their medical bay equipment, anything with the targeted polymer compounds began to destabilize. Ow! He gasped, managing to tear off his helmet seconds before it exploded. How did you know to target this specific weakness? Park's image appeared on his personal screen. Because you told us, Admiral. In your mocking speech to the Council, you mentioned our fabric and ceramic plates with such disdain. It made us wonder, what were you all using instead? Turns out, every advanced species uses the same polymer family. You've been refining it for so long, you forgot it could be a vulnerability. The Council fleet was in chaos. Ships crashed into each other as pilots struggled with exploding helmets. Life support systems failed as critical components dissolved. The most advanced armada in galactic history was being defeated not by superior firepower, but by humanity's ability to find and exploit a single critical weakness. Surrender, Park demanded. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. Or would you prefer we demonstrate what else we've learned to destroy? One by one, the surviving Council ships signaled their surrender. The unthinkable had happened. Humanity had defeated the combined might of the galaxy's greatest powers. In the Galactic Council chamber, emergency sessions convened as reports flooded in. The Void Walker ambassador spoke into the stunned silence. The humans didn't just win a battle. They've made every ship, every station, every colony that uses our standard technology vulnerable. We can't even replace the polymer quickly. Our entire infrastructure depends on it. We should have listened, the Watcher said, stepping forward. I try to warn you. Humans are not like us. They're chaos incarnate, turning disadvantage into strength, finding victory in the impossible. You created this situation by threatening them, by mocking them, by forcing them to prove their worth. What do we do now? A minor species representative asked fearfully. If they can do this with stolen technology and determination, what happens when they develop their own advanced systems? The answer came in President Rodriguez's final transmission to the galaxy. Humanity is done being judged by those who never faced our challenges. We've survived ice ages, plagues, wars, and disasters that would have ended other species. We've reached for the stars with primitive rockets because we refuse to accept limitations. And now we've proven that your advanced technology means nothing against human ingenuity and determination. She paused, letting her words sink in across a million worlds. We don't want to conquer the galaxy. We don't want to destroy other civilizations. We want to explore, to learn, to grow. But we will do it as equals, not as pets or primitives for your amusement. Any species that wants to trade with us, to share knowledge, to explore together, you'll find humans to be the most loyal allies you could ask for. But anyone who threatens us, who mocks us, who tries to keep us down, well, you've seen what happens. The galaxy has a choice. Accept humanity as we are, chaotic, innovative, and unstoppable. Or keep testing us and discover just how creative we can be when it comes to war. I hope you choose wisely. The transmission ended. Across the galaxy, civilizations that had stood for millennia looked at each other with new understanding. The primitive humans they'd mocked had just rewritten the rules of galactic warfare in a single battle. Within days, diplomatic ships began arriving at Earth. Not warships, but vessels carrying ambassadors, scientists, traders. Species that had laughed at humanity now sought partnerships, worried about being left behind as humans continued their impossible innovations. The Zorati Empire offered biotechnology exchanges. The Altarians proposed joint crystal energy research. Even the decimated Yorvac sent representatives, eager to understand how humans had merged technologies they deemed incompatible. In her office, Dr. Chen looked at the flood of collaboration requests and smiled. They mocked us for using duct tape and determination. Now, they're begging to learn our primitive problem-solving methods. General Thompson, now Earth's military liaison to the Galactic Council, nodded. Turns out the greatest weapon in the universe isn't plasma cannons or quantum shields. It's human stubbornness combined with spite. As Earth took its place among the stars, one truth echoed across the galaxy. Never mock humanity from afar. Because humans don't just get even, they get creative. And in a universe full of predictable, tradition-bound civilizations, human creativity was the most terrifying weapon of all. The stars beckoned, and humanity answered, not as subjects or inferiors, but as the chaos the galaxy never knew it needed. The age of human expansion had begun, and the universe would never be the same.